First and foremost, I'm sorry if you thought this was a Suikoden VI announcement video. It's not happening, and trying to fool someone into thinking this is just cruel. This video is my wish list. I've been crossing my fingers for Suikoden VI for 13 years now, and while a revival of the series is looking less and less likely as the years go on, it's still nice to speculate about what the series could have been. These are the things that I've been hoping for since the release of the 5th title in the series. Let me know what you would do with this series if you were sitting in the director's chair. Let's get into it. There are so many places that the series could go in the future, not to mention so many time periods. The one place that we would all love to see is the Holy Kingdom of Harmonia. This place is loaded with history, and despite never being able to explore there, its government has always played a pivotal role in the plot. However, this would not be my ideal destination for Suikoden VI for two reasons. Firstly, I've always had the feeling that everything we've experienced in the series has been structured to lead up to an epic conclusion in the Holy City. It just wouldn't feel right to me having a game set here that wasn't the series finale. Save the best till last if you ask me. Murayama also stated that Harmonia was going to play a big part in how the series ended, but that the finale was not going to be the player taking down Harmonia. My second reason against Harmonia is that if there was going to be a game set here, it would be complicated as hell with tons of references spat out from all directions. This is great for longtime fans, but if Suikoden VI were ever going to happen, it would also need to appeal to new gamers to the series. You know, a little bit like Suikoden Tyricus did with its brand new world. So, for these reasons, I would have to go with a new area separate from what we love. One idea here is the Zealand Kingdom and the western continent beyond it. Now, it's unknown how many nations make their home on the western continent, or even how heavily populated the region is, but this is perfect, as Murayama did mention that a return to the series would be incredibly challenging, given the rich history and deep lore that has already been created. The last thing our great Murayama wants to do is let down the loyal Suikoden fans, so starting somewhere new would help us deal with this issue. One of the best things about Suikoden for me is seeing my favourite characters all over again. Suikoden does this so well. Take Ted for instance. His early death in Suikoden 1 had us thinking he would be gone for good, then whoop, he returns in Suikoden 4 to everyone's delight. But perhaps the best example here is Jorge Prime. He was a very minor character in Suikoden 2 who we knew next to nothing about. Seeing him as a main character in Suikoden 5 in an entirely new setting and time was incredible. I could go on forever, but you get the idea. Suikoden 6 needs some fan service here. Even if it's only a handful of characters, I want to see them again and have their stories expanded on. Obviously, Flick and Victor is what everyone wants to see, but this would totally depend on where and when Suikoden 6 would be set. What I mean is, I don't want them to play a role in a war within the Western continent just for the sake of pleasing us. If their appearance doesn't logically make sense in the new narrative, then there's no point in just throwing them halfway across the world to make us happy. There are hundreds of characters that we know very little about, so let's change that. Suikoden has created so many mysteries for us. I consider myself quite knowledgeable about the series, but at times I feel that I don't know more than I do know. What I wouldn't give to learn more about Clive and the Howling Voice Guild, the mysteries behind Peshmerga and Yuba, Jean bloody Jean, Vicky bloody Vicky, the Sindar, and the list goes on. While Suikoden 6 could not answer all of our questions, it could dive deeper into some. Personally, Jean and the Peshmerga Yuba mysteries are at the top of my list of things I need to know. If you're watching this, Murayama, could you please let us know what you had in mind here? With each Suikoden game, the battle system did seem to improve, except maybe for Suikoden 4, which was the only title not to have 6 active party members. So that's my first point, there has to be 6. I'll also go on to say that the support characters also need to return, as this provided a great way to make the non-combat Stars of Destiny useful in battle. The customizable formations in Suikoden 5 was also a great improvement, and I would like to see this again in some form. To be honest, as long as there are 6 characters, formations, runes, and unite attacks, it's going to feel like a Suikoden game. And if someone could find a way to incorporate all of these things into a more action-oriented combat system, then go for it. Otherwise, just stay with the turn-based system. I would be fine with that. One thing that's crucial, however, is more of a challenge. I felt like Suikoden 5 was the easiest of the series. The gameplay here was at its peak, but I was never able to truly test out my skills, so upping the difficulty and adding a bunch of optional super bosses would go down very well. Ah, the strategic wars, an absolute staple of the series, and I'm in two minds about what I want here. On one hand, I would like an upgrade of the real-time system from Suikoden V, except perhaps without the ability to pause the game. I've recently played Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen. Its real-time battles and the emphasis on unit management was awesome. Something more complex like this would be a step in the right direction. But on the other hand, I feel like the grid-like tactical turn-based system of Suikoden 2 could be greatly expanded on. Again, more of a focus on unit composition would be great here. Whatever the case, I want these to be challenging and more evolved. A skirmish mode is also something I've always wanted. Practicing these war mechanics against your allied troops at any time would be amazing. If there is one thing I loved about the Suikoden series, it was the minigames. The feeling of recruiting a new character and then finding that they've set up a brand new minigame back at HQ was amazing. While some of the series minigames are better than others, I thought that Suikoden 2 was the pinnacle of the series in this area. In Suikoden 6, I would want to see loads of new minigames with unique rewards. But not all of them should be new. Oh no, I have been waiting so many years for a new and improved version of the cook-offs. As a way to improve this, perhaps a player could be presented with some kind of quick time event which would result in a better quality dish. This was a missed opportunity during the long cooking sequences of Suikoden 2. In any case, bring back the cook-offs. In the past, all of the headquarters were automatically upgraded based on various conditions, and what an incredible feeling it was to come back to base only to find your HQ to be bigger and better than ever before. Sure, automated upgrades were nice, but having some sort of option regarding the future of your HQ would be taking this to the next level. Even something as simple as choosing from multiple minor upgrades would still give a sense of personal touch to this whole system. This could then be taken to the next level by requiring a certain recruit material and potch to add a new function to your HQ. The possibilities are endless, and I really want a new HQ to develop. I could go on forever, but if you ask me, this is what would make Suikoden 6 perfect. Unfortunately, we'll probably never see anything else in the series, but it's still nice to wish. What would you like to see if there was ever a Suikoden 6? Let me know in the comments. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit like and sub for more Suikoden and RPG content. See you next time.